Hello everyone, welcome to the Ahdurin Region. I'm your host Ahdurin himself, and I want to put this out in the beginning of the episode in advance that I have already recorded this episode, episode 2, and then I looked over the audio and I realized it is absolutely awful. And so rather than try to edit with that, because I'm terrible with editing audio, I decided just to re-record it because that would honestly be quicker for me. So, there are some things here that probably aren't going to be shocking to me. Hopefully, I sincerely apologize. I'll tell you guys once we reach the point that I start to learn new things, because I'll probably go through stuff faster. So, with that said, last time on Detective Grimoire's episodes, which, by the way, there is episode 1 and the playlist in the description below if you want to check that out, and you have no idea what's going on. So, spoilers in 3, 2, 1. So this little guy right here, popping up on the screen on the bottom right, is Boggy, and he is a monster that supposedly killed the bottom guy here, Remington. Now here's the thing. We don't necessarily believe that Boggy is a real thing because, you know, it's a monster and not an actual creature as far as we can tell. So we're trying to find the actual murderer, of course, involving a lot of strategery and skills. Of the characters so far, the only ones we've met are Boggy and Mr. Remington. Our clues here, we've got the police file, a map, and in the crime scene, a lockpick. I assume there are other clues that will be found in different locations. And our suspects right now, obviously, with these two guys' boats lost, and the notes. So in each area, we were able to take different notes. You can see some of them here. The crossroads, the protest, where there's only one thing. We weren't able to find the other two things. And the clearing right here. The outside office as well. I had to re-record from the beginning, so I just re-recorded starting from episode 1. So in the game there are 3 different save files, so this might be a bit off. There might have been one clue that we found that I don't recall. Just in case there are any inconsistencies between episode 1 and episode 2. And then outside the office, which is where we are now, we found some footprints, Remington's body, and an open window that is ripped outside, which is right here. Now, the one thing that I've noticed about the game is that it is fairly open, that you can go wherever you want. So I figured this out after recording the second episode, and I was looking over it while checking out what I would do next on the third episode, that right here inside the murky water there is an item. So I didn't find that out the previous time, I'm finding it this time.
The strange footprints stop right by these reeds. Maybe I should take a closer look. Maybe I can move some of them out of the way.
This I did not know was the case, and my original episode 2 didn't have this. It'll have it here. So I just gotta move these out of the way. I don't actually know what's behind here, so we can see, although it looks like it's a flipper.
A strange pair of green flippers, badly hidden in the reeds outside the office.
Okay. Interesting. I didn't know that was the case last time. Okay. So there's still some new things. Strange green flippers. Who left these lying around? Now these look very familiar to what Boggy is supposed to have. Last time we also found the lockpick here. Now, my initial thought was that we would use the lockpick to enter here.
I can't get in here without a key. And I don't feel like kicking the door down. Maybe if I get desperate later on.
But apparently we can't. I'm not sure if I'm doing something wrong here, but trying to use the lockpick on the door. Not really sure about that, so let's go on to a different spot. Now, if we go to the door,
I can't get in here without
can't get in without the key. So we shall instead go backwards, where all of a sudden people are here. Interesting.
Some suspects.
I agree with you. So
let's get this investigation started.
I'm with you all the way.
Oh? All right, let's see. Another suspect for my notebook.
That's a little rude.
Yeah, a little bit.
I'm sorry. Did I say that bit out loud?
Maybe not. Maybe I can hear your thoughts.
So would you be able to answer my questions before I asked you?
Would you be able to question my answers before I tell you?
Oh, real smart guy.
I'm Bobby Burl, professional cameraman. Pleased to meet you.
I'm Detective Grimoire. I'm here to investigate last night's murder. Obviously.
Grimoire. Strange. Is that your first name?
So it seems like we are able to answer some of these questions. Sorry about that. It seems like we're able to answer some of these questions as fun joke-like things, so I like these. It's my 23rd name, but it's the one I like the best. It's funny because my birthday is August 23rd, and I find that a very fun coincidence. First name, what's a first name? Or it's my second name, Detective is my first name. So I'm going to choose the same answers I did in the previous one, just in case that impacts the story in any way. So last time I chose this.
It's my second name. Detective is my first name.
Alright, and so the main idea here is that you get to talk to him about different clues and points of protest and all that sort of stuff, presenting clues and presenting a profile. So, let's talk.
So you already told me what you do, but now, why would a cameraman be working here?
I go where I'm needed. Vincent wanted to come to the swamp, and I was happy to help.
Vincent?
Vincent Vanderpeer. You mean that man standing on that rock over there?
That's right. I've worked with him for many years.
Is he your boss?
Oh, I don't know about that. We work together. He's tried to film here before, but he never got permission until about a week ago.
Oh, really? But why did you want to come here in the first place?
If you're looking for a reason to write down in your notebook, I'm sure he can tell you if you ask him. I'm just the guy who carries around the camera.
You always carry that camera with you?
Most of the time.
I will gush about the voice acting in this game until the day I die. It is amazing. All of these different voices and characters that they're able to build, and they fit so well. So, we learned a lot about his job, and there are a bunch of different clues that are updated as well, so we learned more about each of the suspects. So,
You were here yesterday, I presume? Last night?
Yes, I was.
Here, in this clearing?
No, I was over at the cafe getting something to eat. Richard Remington was there too.
Remington? You saw him last night?
that's a dead guy.
Just before the murder?
That's right, I saw him. He left the cafe looking rather ill. I offered to help, but he just wanted to go back to his office. He looked like he had a lot on his mind.
He was ill yesterday?
Perhaps it was something he ate.
Interesting. Alright, so now we have the opportunity to present clues and profiles. So, presenting clues will go into our inbox where we can show them different things. Sometimes we'll get things like
What
this.
is it? Some evidence from last night's murder?
Other times we'll get more generic, like, don't show me this.
That's great.
Yeah, see, like that. So I just like to present
I'm sorry,
everybody
I have not
everything.
seen that before.
Cool. Just in case there's anything. The only new thing now between last time and this time is that I have flippers now, so I don't
is
know
it?
what this is.
Some evidence from last night's
And
murder?
that one's not useful at all either. Cool. And then we can present profiles, which is about the different characters. So we can also present about themselves, which is very interesting.
A prolific cameraman with exceptional skills at carrying heavy equipment.
Cool. What about Boggy?
You should ask someone else.
So he knows nothing about Boggy, according to this.
Try showing it to somebody different.
And he doesn't know much about Remington either. So this lockbox right here, you may have noticed this. This is a challenge topic, which you can typically talk about, because everybody in this game so far that I've talked to has some sort of secret behind them. They're either covering up or trying to avoid, and if you unlock this challenge topic, you're able to challenge them on that topic about what they're lying about. So, let's talk about him.
Yes, do you have a message for me?
No. I don't think so.
Then why are you here? I'm incredibly busy.
You don't look it. Who are you, anyway?
What a question. You're serious?
Yep.
I am Vincent Vanderpeer,
The famous movie director?
What?
the artist, the visionary, the auteur.
Impossible.
I'm a man of many talents.
My gosh, it's Vincent Van de Peer. He's the guy who made the Perry Hodder series and the bracelet of time out. What would Lord of the Rings be? The Master of the Bracelet, or Jerry Paxson and the Lightning Thief, or stuff like that. All right. What did I answer last time? I talked about the beard. Yes.
That is a very talented beard you've got, at least.
You're in my light. Could you take a few steps back, please?
But then I'd be too far away to talk to you.
I know.
Can anyone just walk in here and start filming?
Interesting. Let's talk about this. Also, when he said "I know," the first thing I thought of was Mark Hamill's Joker. I don't know if you guys heard that. I heard that. So the main topic: can anyone just walk in here and start filming? So, let's see. I think it was Vincent Vanderpeer only recently got permission to murder the victim. Got permission from Richard Remington to film here at the swamp.
Vincent Vanderpeer only recently got permission from Richard Remington to film here in the swamp. I wonder if Mr. Vanderpeer has been breaking rules. Or maybe he'll have an excuse.
And see, now we've unlocked the challenge for Vanderpeer. So now we have the ability to talk about the challenge, one coming to him. So let's talk to him as well, and let's talk about the other things before we get to the challenge, because why not?
What's a famous guy like you doing in a place like this?
Yeah, this is kind of a dump.
Quite. I'm sure you're thinking, why doesn't he send an assistant? But that's not the way this director works.
But what are you doing?
I'm feeling, I'm experiencing, I'm
He's lost.
discovering this area, the history, the atmosphere. It's the perfect setting for my next film.
Really?
I'm on a scouting mission to get to know this swamp before I begin work on the latest masterpiece in a string of masterpieces.
You're making a movie about Boggy? About the swamp creature?
Of course. He's a fascinating individual, isn't he?
He's not real.
So mysterious.
No idea. I haven't met him yet. Is that your
I haven't met him
cameraman
yet.
over there?
Yes, that's right. Bobby Burl, my faithful right-hand man. Well, faithful enough, you know.
No, I don't know.
I'm a solo
He's
guy.
an expert cameraman. Really knows his trade, of course. But he gets a bit muddled when it comes to priorities.
Like how? You mean he's lazy? He doesn't look lazy. He looks a bit scary.
Oh no, nothing of the sort. He just has a little hobby that sometimes distracts him from his work. But I wouldn't want anyone else shooting for me.
So when he says hobby, I'm curious of what he means by hobby. Because the way he's structuring it sounds like something really bad.
Were you working yesterday? Here in the swamp, I mean?
Indeed I was working, very hard indeed, well into the night.
Hard work, is it? Getting to know the swamp?
You jest, but yesterday I was getting even more involved than usual, yes. Difficult to comprehend, I know.
So what kind of work were you doing?
Well, I was, unable to find my faithful cameraman last night.
Really
He'd
now?
hidden himself quite completely from view.
Bobby Burl, right? Did you need him to film for you?
Always. But being a resourceful type of man, I stepped up and took on the responsibility myself.
Oh, great job.
I was filming in this exact area, in fact.
Really?
You were filming? Last night? Here?
Yeah,
Yes,
you have the
at
murder?
time of the murder, I
Ooh,
believe.
then could I...
Wait, I know what you're thinking.
Uh.
Now, don't forget, I'm not here to shoot some experimental documentary. I have no interest in late-night surveillance footage.
Shucks.
Did you see anything at all?
Anything?
What is it you were filming?
The water. I was filming the water. It's a fascinating subject, one that has me captivated to the point where
So, you didn't see anything useful?
Get him, Grimoire. Just
I
interrupt
sat
him.
there for a minute.
nothing
So
useful
did
to
I.
you, my good detective. But there are some odd sounds on the audio track.
Really?
Nothing but wild animals going about their nighttime rituals, I'm sure.
Is there something I should ask the cameraman?
So I don't remember what this one is. Vincent Van de Peer told me that Bobby Pearl was nowhere to be found last night.
Vincent Van de Peer told me that Bobby Burl was nowhere to be found last night. Simple enough. What was Mr. Burl doing last night that meant he couldn't help out his boss?
And now we've unlocked his challenge, so we can talk to him about this special topic. Let's show a bunch of clues. I don't recall if any of these are actually useful.
If you want an autograph, a plain sheet of paper will suffice, thank you. I don't really have time to be looking at items from your collection.
Yeah, I think, don't quote me on this, I think that most of these, if not all of these, are there.
You won't be getting very...
Try someone less important, excuse me, like the president, according to you?
If you want an autograph,
Okay, yeah, you're not signing my flippers that aren't even mine.
I don't know if it's any use to you at all. I'll film again tonight and try to get a version without all those bizarre noises in the background.
Alright. I think that's all of the clues we've got so far. And then the profile. So you can see at the bottom here the little locks with exclamation points bouncing around. That means we've unlocked their challenge. And I assume that the rest of the characters will have a challenge as well. Yeah. Now, I am still slightly confused at what the yellow and red points mean. I think that's clues about them, but I'm not 100% sure. Anyway, Vanderveer.
The world's premier director, the king of wit and whimsy. You met him. You're a lucky man.
Hey, there you go, guys. Listen, you met Vanderveer. You are a lucky man or woman or
He's been
child.
working with me for a number of years. A real expert, of course.
Alright, so he's a fan of Poppy Pearl. What about Boggy?
Ah, yes. The reason we're all here, of course.
Not me.
Isn't he your prime suspect?
Technically.
Well, officially, yeah, but I mean...
What an amazing creature! No one has seen him for 60 years and he still manages to get accused of murder.
That's almost impressive.
Incredible.
Yeah, guys, listen. If you want to be impressive, don't actually do this. But if you want to be impressive, just disappear for 60 years and be accused of murder.
Now there's a man who could handle himself.
I'm not so sure.
I mean,
Well,
he's...
apart from yesterday, that was just a one-off, wasn't it?
For him, I think so, yes.
Yeah, you don't typically get murdered every day. Just saying. Okay, so that takes care of that. So now we can do the challenge topic. Let's do that.
I heard this isn't the first time you've tried to film here.
Where? In the swamp?
Mm-hmm.
What are you talking about?
Excuse me. Let's see. You tried to film here before, but the camera broke. Remington never found out, or Remington has denied you. That's what the cameraman said.
Remington has denied you the filming permission in the past.
Oh, that. Nothing but the natural process of being in a profession like mine.
Uh-huh.
Every situation simply requires the right approach before the gears start turning smoothly. You understand, I'm sure.
No, I
Why
don't.
did Remington not want you filming here? And why did he change his mind?
It wasn't even up to him. This area is protected, you know.
By
there
who?
are certain rules, certain regulations. I encounter this kind of thing all the time, really.
My understanding was that Remington
doesn't
owned it.
explain why he changed his tune. It's a little suspicious.
Why would you say that?
A famous movie director suddenly gets his way. I wonder how that happened. Time to use my notebook. Just drag an item onto the paper to draw the idea.
It's the handy dandy notebook like in Blue's Clues, guys. Remember that show? Which is coming back, I hear. I don't know if it's already come back or if it's coming back next year, but it's coming back. And I'm gonna be honest. If it hasn't come back already and it's going to, or whatever that case, I probably will watch a couple episodes. Am I a 20-year-old? Yes. Am I also gonna watch Blue's Clues because it reminds me of the good old days? Also, yes. Anyway. So we can drag an item into this question mark space to draw it. I am famous, I am the boss. That's VDP on the right, Richard Remington on the left. How did Vanderpeer suddenly get his own way? Like flowers, I guess. The autograph picture. I assume this is like the force or money. So I already know the answer to this, which is it's money. But I really want to see what happens if you get the wrong answer.
That can't be it.
Does it just...
That can't be it.
This is just all of them. That can't be it.
That can't be it.
Yeah, okay. Anyway, it's money. Clearly.
Right. That's the one.
I also like how he's drawing all of this out in the pencil. By the way, he's a much better artist than I could ever be.
I think you bribed Remington to get the filming rights.
The money, bro.
Well, bribe is a strong word.
Mm-hmm.
It was just a little arrangement between friends.
That's called a bribe.
Nothing worth getting upset about. I simply promised him a cut of my next movie's profits. It made sense, since he owned the area anyway. Just a favor for a favor.
So you would have owed him money.
Only a small percentage, simply out of courtesy. And not for a long time, either.
Interesting. So we got the challenge complete, which means we got that information. That is interesting indeed. Also, here's the film footage that was shown. It's now in our inbox. So footage recorded last night at the exact time of the murder, filmed by Vincent Vanderpeer in the clearing on the west side of the swamp near the crime scene. There's nothing to see, but various clues can be heard on the track. Listen to them in order. So it goes in the order that you can see here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we'll listen to each of them at once, and then I'll put them all together and we'll show what that looks like. So, sounds like somebody on wood. Sounds like somebody's seeing something he doesn't want to see. That sounds like either the world's loudest mousetrap or a gun. Somebody just got hit. Somebody flying. Something ripping. Something falling on the ground. And another clanging. Okay. So I'm going to play this real fast if you guys can hear it. Yeah, so the way that I've been thinking about this so far is that Remington sees Boggy, or whoever's Boggy's being, screams, bang, gets hit, hits some stuff while he's about to fall out, falls out of the window, lands on the ground after ripping off the curtain, lands in the thud. I'm not sure what this loud clang is. Maybe Boggy hit an iron pan or something like that. I don't know. Anyway, that definitely is useful, but now let us go to this guy. We can present... I don't recall if I did the film footage last time.
Vincent's work, I see. I'm glad he knows how to use the camera at least.
What do you think all those noises are?
Well, judging by the time this was recorded, I'd be able to make a pretty good guess.
Oh, interesting. I didn't actually know that was a thing. I didn't do that last time, so... That's interesting indeed. What about Vanderpeer?
The famous director, and my friend.
Okay, cool. Now we go to the challenge.
I heard from Mr. Vanderpeer over there that you were nowhere to be found last night.
Didn't I say I was at the cafe?
Yeah, you did. But your director needed you for some filming, and he couldn't find you. What were you doing that was so important?
Well, let's see. After I ate, I had to walk around the swamp. I didn't have my camera, so I was free to stretch my legs for once.
Where was your camera? Don't you carry it around with you all the time?
No, not all the time.
Yeah, but you said most of the time, didn't you? So was it broken? No, it was lost and what looked for it. No, because you left it with Vanderpeer. That's why we have the camera right now.
You left it with Vanderpeer, and he used it instead that night.
That's right, he was looking after that camera. So I went for a late-night stroll. This place is beautiful in the evenings.
You just walked around? You didn't do anything? Didn't see anyone?
Well, I can't say that. I have various ways to pass the time, you know.
Well, that must be the hobby then, because obviously it's not the samples of swamp water. As somebody walks by my room.
Vanderpeer said you had a hobby on the side.
Is that what he said? Well, yes, he's right. I brought 2 cameras with me when I came here. I left my video camera, yes, but I have another one. It's much smaller, and it only takes black and white photographs.
Oh,
You
so
know
he's
the
a black
kind
and
I
white
mean?
photographer.
A really old one?
Yes, I suppose so.
The old
I've always
cameras.
enjoyed traditional photography, and this place is a wonderful opportunity to take some pictures of a natural environment.
So, you were having some time off to take black and white photographs? For fun?
Only one photograph. You have to be disciplined when you're not using a digital camera.
Can I see it?
Of course. I took it near the woods at the back of the swamp.
Really?
It's quite an interesting shot, but the light qualities weren't perfect. Here we are. Feel free to take a look.
Wait, what?
Yeah, that's a blank sheet of paper as far as I can tell.
This is a photo?
I haven't developed it yet. I only took it last night.
Oh, because you have to develop old photographs, right?
Just brush the developing fluid over the photo to reveal the image.
All right. Time to see what we got here. So yeah, just click on the screen, wrap it around. Let's see, I'm gonna be real mysterious like with this. So, what do we have here, I wonder? Wait,
What? Is that Boggy? The swamp creature just standing in the water?
It could be. Personally, I'm not convinced, but I'll let you decide for yourself.
well, well, well. So in the black and white photograph, we have a blurry photograph taken by Bobby Burrell shortly before the murder. It shows something that looks like Boggy in the woods at the back of the swamp, and the being seems to have long legs. Interesting indeed. And we can show him the black and white
Yes, that's
photograph.
my photograph, taken near the woods at the north end of Boggy's Bog. Have you tried looking there?
Not yet. Might as well go check that out. Before I do, I'm just going to go over here and show him
He's
this.
a talented man, that Burl. Sometimes I wonder if he'd be better off pursuing his photography full time, you know?
Oh, look at Vanderpeer actually looking like he's caring. Alright, so based on the episode length right now that I'm checking real quick, yeah, it's about a good time. I want to make these episodes slightly shorter than the Ace Attorney ones, so like around the 20 to 25 minute mark. There is still more stuff that I have technically learned that I've kind of spoiled for me because of the poor recording on the first time I recorded episode 2. Hopefully that won't be it's not too much more than this, so sometime in the middle of the next episode I will get back to being completely clueless. So, with that said, thank you very much for watching and supporting the Ahdurin Region. in any way, shape, or form that you do. And until next time, ladies and gentlemen, take care.